What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the next episode of Deus Ex. It's time to do what is, in my opinion, the worst part of the whole game. The Brooklyn Naval Shipyard and the Majestic 12 Super Freighter. Anyways, the first things we're gonna do is talk to that soldier walking towards us. Because since we talked to Vinny at the Underworld Tavern in Hell's Kitchen, that soldier is now expecting us, and he's going to give us the key to the front gate. Whereas if we didn't do that, he'd still talk to us, tell us that these guys will not become hostile if we infiltrate the area.
Me either.
But he would basically advise against it. But we wouldn't get the key, though.
Don't expect any hospitality.
There's a sewer grate where you can go that way, but since we're able to get the key to the front gate, we're going to use the front gate. So after he gives it to us, let's get it unlocked and get it open. And now, the objectives here are a little confusing. Like, Tracer Tong is telling us to go to a warehouse for explosives, but we don't need that. Put your combat strength on with the Dragon's Tooth sword to destroy that trailer door. That way, you can save a lockpick and get the stuff in the trailer, including a range mod, which I'm going to put on the crossbow. This is one of the situations I was talking about where we use the Dragon's Tooth and the Combat Strength Aug to destroy a locked door. Anyways, once we're inside, go to the security panel in the corner, hack it, and then we want to turn off all the cameras, and then from the first camera, open the door that's associated with it. It'll open a door in here. Get in here. The door that it opened is... Hold on. That one, right there. That way we don't have to bypass the keypad with multi-tools. And then in here is another security panel. With this one we need to do a special action called Robot Standby. In other words, all the security bots guarding the perimeter will be deactivated, like so. And then we're going to have to turn off... This panel has the security cameras that are down in the sewer. We need to turn all of them off, and we also need to open another door tied to that panel via the first camera, I think. So there's a sewer grate in here, and we're gonna use it to get down there. Just watch out for soldiers. The workers won't react to you, but the soldiers you gotta avoid. So just keep your eyes open and break line of sight if they perceive you. Anyways, let's climb on down. You want to go to the right. And it's at this point where I'm going to go to the skill menu and upgrade lockpicking to advanced. Because at this point in the game, you should definitely have enough skill points to do that. So go ahead and lockpick this grate so that you can get through. And then you're going to want to lockpick the hatch on the floor right here to jump into the water. Go around the toxic gas or whatever, and then we're gonna jump up onto here like so, run into this giant box to kind of push it close to that higher platform, and then toss one of the smaller ones to climb your way up. And now carefully sneak up, because there's a lamb. You want to sneak up on it so you can disarm it, and go ahead and take it while you're at it. Jock is now telling us about Smuggler, who was unfortunately killed by the MJ-12 raid that happened back in Hell's Kitchen. If we had gone to Smuggler after Dowd, then smuggler could have survived because we could have warned him, but for the sake of making stealth easier, going to smuggler first was the better choice. Anyways, now we're heading towards the super freighter. Basically, we're going to have to swim around so that we can reach a ladder that's down at water level that we can climb up to get on board. And as soon as we're down in the below decks, everything I'm about to do is going to get it's going to get really obsessive and kind of convoluted because there's so much to do, and it's kind of hard to keep track of everything to do. Not helped by the fact that we're going to be incapacitating a lot of the soldiers in the below decks, and that's because not necessarily because of the explosions from breaching the hull points, but more so because of the escape. And also because some of these hull breach points are a nightmare to blow up without without taking people out. There's so much to do that it's honestly best to knock out people below deck just to make your life easier. Especially when it's time to escape, and then there's going to be explosions, and then it's going to cause the world to literally shake, and then it's going to make you hard to control, especially in the water. Anyways, sneak in to the door on the right. There's a tiny little vial of ambrosia. Take that. We'll give it to Dowd later. And now we're going to lockpick this safe. Absolutely worth the effort because there's an upgrade canister in there. And we're going to use it to put our run silent to tier 3. That way our footsteps are super quiet. And we've got our, super sneaky silent boots, as Critical Nobody would call them. For those who don't know, Critical Nobody is a YouTuber it's all about stealth gaming, kind of like me, honestly. My content is not at all like his. I just do basic game walkthroughs. He does full reviews and retrospectives. I recommend them though, especially if you're huge into stealth gaming. But anyways, I'm going off topic too much. While we're exploring the upper decks, you can check out all these lockers down here, particularly one that has a biocell in it. There's this nice little vent near the stairwell that'll take us up, because what we need to do is, the door to the below decks is locked, and as far as I remember, you cannot lockpick it, so you need to get the key. There's at least 2 keys you can get, but we're going to get the easier one. Carefully sneak behind him. Don't worry about that camera. It cannot pan this way, so it cannot detect you here. Get to the vent, and then we're going to investigate the 2 rooms that this vent conjoins. This room has a repair bot, so you can get your bioenergy to 100%, as well as a multi-tool and some multi-tools and biocells you can get, which were obviously taken. We always want those. There's an accuracy mod. I'm going to put it on the crossbow. Regardless of whether you put it on the crossbow or the stealth pistol, it doesn't matter. Like I've said, the accuracy mods I don't think make a huge difference. Investing in the skill points for the respective weapons is what really makes the accuracy difference in this game. Heal yourself if necessary. And then, what we really want, in the drawer on this desk is that key. That's the key to the below decks. And then, read that data cube. it's going to give us a keypad code that we want. That keypad code is going to raise a bridge in the engine room. That way we have the code and we don't need multi-tools. So let's head back down carefully. Just if the coast is clear, you can get across to the stairwell that goes down, but it was not clear, so I had to go around this way. So yeah, these upper decks areas, we can ghost this area and we don't have to take anybody out. Below decks is where things are going to get a lot more annoying. There's a bunch of areas where knocking everyone out is honestly the best solution. And there's also at least one soldier down there that kind of like you'd swear to God the coast is clear, but then a soldier just like pops out of nowhere. I'll try to explain him as we get closer to that happening. But anyways, let's get this started. There are 2 breach points in the engine room. For the most part, these are the easy ones, so we'll deal with them first. What we want to do is the keypad code that raises the bridge that I mentioned. We're going to get that bridge raised. There's the keypad. And then put the code in. I forgot what it is off the top of my head, but that data cube from that same room we got the key from is where we learned it. So it's in your notes. Now we can cross the bridge over here. First thing we're going to do is turn off the security cameras, and what I'm about to do is a very tricky maneuver that... Here's what you do. Climb up so that you can reach the security panel, click on it, immediately look down and climb down the ladder before you enter the computer mode. That way nobody up there sees... That way you're on the ladder, but nobody up in that control room sees you. Turn off all the cameras and go ahead and open the door that's linked to the first camera. Alright, so the cameras are off. Now we're going to knock out the 2 nearby soldiers, because they have a tendency to... Now, I don't think... If you use a lamb in the stealth pistol, I'm not sure if they react to that, but we're going to be backtracking through this area at least a little bit, so it's going to be easier just to take these guys out. Pull out the pepper gun, turn on cloak, run silent, and power recirculator, spray them with pepper gun, turn your augs off, and then shock them both with your prod. That's a lot to take in, but basically, you want to turn yourself into a literal ghost, cloak, run silent, and power recirculator so that you conserve energy. Spray them both with your pepper gun, make sure they're blinded, and then turn your augs off once they're blinded, pull your prod out, and then tase them both unconscious. Once they're out, let's go after the breach points. So let's go back over here, shoot out this window with your stealth pistol, so that, because if you smash it with like the baton or something, you'll make noise, and it'll draw the attention of the guys in that upper control room. So here comes the first one. Carefully jump down here. I recommend doing it the way I did it. Biocell. And forgot if there's anything good in here. Oh, there's a lamb. That's good. At least for this part of the game where we need lambs. And then equip your lambs. Plant one right here on the tri-weld scene, it's called. Climb your way out with the crate stairwell we created. From here, carefully... I did not intend to activate the spy drone. That was an accident. Our stealth pistol has a scope on it so that our accuracy is better. Use the scope to shoot the lamb. You'll take a little bit of damage, but you should be fine. Here's our second one right across from it. Multi-tool. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing. Get the lambs equipped. Plant right there. Get your stealth pistol out. And then from about here, this should be a safe distance right here. Let the crosshairs shrink to improve your accuracy. Aim down the scope and fire. So that's 2 of the 5 tri-weld points breached. And this was the easiest part of this whole segment. Things are going to get really convoluted when we go to the room with all that active electricity coming from the transformers. There's just flares in there. Nothing we want. Anyways, let's proceed onwards. Next, we're going to have to take out a patrolling soldier that guards the nearby corridor. Now, in this recording, I got extremely lucky to have him conveniently coming our way, exactly where I wanted him to be. But sometimes he's not in an advantageous position, and you have no choice but to really just sit and wait for him. And you really want to knock him out so that you know he's out of the way, and this corridor should be safe to use. And I say safe very loosely because of the mystery soldier that just randomly appears out of nowhere, either in this corridor or a different one that I'll be showing off a little later. So first things first, we're going to head this way. We're going to head to the room that has the bilge pumps. The 3rd tri-weld point is in here, but we're not going to blow it up yet. And I'll explain why in a bit. So here's another security panel. This one's a little confusing, but here's what you want to do. So click it and then walk to the left as far as you can before you enter the computer mode. And then turn off, well, the first camera is already off. Keep it off. The second camera, or the other cameras you want to turn off. I completely forgot that that first camera on that panel is already off, and that if you interact with it, it'll turn it back on. So don't forget the lockpick in the crate. So I had to hack the panel again so that I could correct the mistake. So basically make sure all these cameras are off and that the door that's linked to the second camera is open. Technically you don't have to open that door, but you might as well. Why not?
Guy in a coat, I'm checking it out.
Alright, so I'm going to be screwing this up a lot, but right now there's 2 soldiers in this room, and we want to knock them both out. This room, even if you're trying to ghost this segment as best as possible, these are the 2 guys that you're absolutely going to be knocking out regardless, because you're not in this room. You have to destroy one of the breach points, and you have to access the computer to reverse the flow on the bilge pumps. You're not going to do that while these guys are conscious. So the first guy is pretty easy to knock out. You just wait for him to get to that end of the room, that other end of the room,
Oh my God.
and then just do the baton knockout trick. The other guy's more annoying. He's kind of hard to sneak up on.
Oh my God.
I kept screwing up, but the best thing to do, honestly, turn your run silent on, so that you can just run up behind him immediately without the risk of him just turning around like that. So... oh, yeah, that worked. I think I used the run silenter, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, we're not going to mess with the bilge pumps yet. I highly recommend doing that last. That way we can escape this area pretty quickly when the, like, explosions and the shakiness starts happening.
Do not forget about Everett.
Oh, and I was wrong. Or wait, was I? No, I think that door's just open anyway. I'm pretty certain that that previous security panel, opens the other door. More on that later, and I got so mad because I forgot to quick save and I had to knock out this dude again. But, easy fix. And then... go up here. There's a soldier in this corridor that we're going to knock out. If you want to do this fast and easy, turn your run silent on and then get up on his ass and whack him. You may have noticed that we just bypassed a security panel that's directly underneath the deactivated camera in this corridor. We need to access it and then turn off another set of cameras, but I forgot to do it. It's not the end of the world. Like, we could still work around it, but ideally you should do it. Alright, here's the room with all the electricity going haywire. There's a spider bot in this room that we need to disable. So we're going to use the EMP blast from the spy drone augmentation to do so. I screwed it up, and I think the spider bot caught me anyway. So we'll try again. Turn the spy drone on, and the power recirculator so that the energy drain is reduced. And then get up to the robot, detonate the EMP blast with the fire key, and that'll disable it. We're good. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to get introduced to a secondary objective of bypassing circuit breakers to disable all the active electricity in this room. There's a repair bot that we can recharge with. Let's go ahead and talk to this worker so that we can get the secondary goal.
The transformers are shorting out, and I can't.
We are going to complete it so that the electricity is deactivated, because one of the breach points is in this room, and it's surrounded by electricity, so completing this goal works to our benefit. So, yep, go ahead and chat it up with him.
You'd have to shut down two,
but be careful in this corridor. This is the same corridor from earlier. We already knocked out the soldier that guards this area normally, but I mentioned a mystery soldier that just pops up out of nowhere. He could pop up in this corridor, or he could pop up in that upper corridor where we first entered this room from. Okay. So for the secondary objective, the first fuse box to bypass with your multi-tools is this one right here. But as I was recording this, I think I kind of forgot how to do this and was trying to remember on a whim. But yes, you do bypass that breaker, and then this is not the vent you want to go into. We are going to go this way later, but not right now. Where we do want to go is in the floor vent that's closer to that fuse box that we just bypassed. Yes, this... Sorry. This is the way we want to go. We're going to have to disable this breaker to turn off that security laser. There's a literal camera in here, but it won't actually react to you. I'm assuming it'll only react to you if you trip the laser, but as long as you don't, no, it won't react to you at all. Alright, goals completed. The active electricity's gone, so let's go destroy the next breach point in this room. So it's over. First thing, you can recharge your bioenergy if necessary.
Great. I'll take it from here.
And go ahead and take that multi-tool on the floor, since we had... That way we can get at least one back from all that we had to use. Carefully get over here, get the lambs equipped, and plant it. Be careful in that area, because there's a security camera that we didn't disable that's in the upper area, and you want to be careful that it doesn't perceive you, and if it does, you got to break line of sight. The best way to aim at this lamb is between these transformers, like so. So that's another breach point gone. And now
Thanks.
Now we need to access a different area. Right now I'm healing myself with the regeneration aug. You can also use your med kits, but I'm using regeneration because there's a repair bot right over here where we can immediately replenish the bio energy we just used. So, over here, there's another camera. Now, if I had done this correctly, and multi-tool, if I had done this correctly, that camera would be off. But since I didn't do this correctly, it's still on. Not the end of the world, though. All you need to do, well, I was going to go back and disable it, but then this happened. The mystery soldier showed up. I don't know where this guy comes from or what, but yeah. Anyways, to do this with the camera active, you just need to very quickly run to the ladder and climb up. As long as you're quick, you'll break line of sight of that camera before it could possibly sound an alarm. And then the camera in this area does not react to you at all. This is basically a 0G area because of the giant industrial fan. You want to very carefully float up here, and you want to land into the open vent that is opposite of that aforementioned camera that doesn't react to you. Make sure you go into the one that's on the opposite side of the camera. The one that's on the same side of the camera is the wrong one. Now here, what you should do is turn on your run silent. That way you can drop down right here and the nearby soldier should not hear you. I forgot to do it and he reacted to my noise and I had to wait for him to go back to neutral.
Shh. Wait for him to move again.
But anyways, we want to access this area. Turn your run silent on. That way he doesn't react to you again. Get on his ass to knock him out. And then let's get some stuff over here. Like this biocell. The prod charger, if you need one. We're going to need, I think, 3 multi-tools to bypass this keypad. But we absolutely want to get into this room because there is an augmentation canister in here that is going to contain the final augmentation that we're going to get in this game, which is radar transparency. Make sure you take the canister. It's going to be a while before we can get to a medbot to install it, but let's make sure we get the canister so that we have it. So this corridor is going to take us back to the bilge pump room. And now that we knocked out this soldier that's in this area, unless the mystery soldier shows up out of nowhere, this area should be clear, and we're gonna blow up the breach point now that's in here. Of course, I did not trust that mystery soldier. This is the security panel that I forgot to hack earlier. Yeah, earlier, the first time we came through here, after you knock out the guard in this hallway, turn off the cameras through that panel. Anyways, back to what we're doing in the present. Go ahead and... Come on. Get the lambs out. Yes. Plant it on there. And now, once again, we'll use a stealth pistol from a safe distance to ignite the explosion. Like so. In case you forgot, we put a scope modification on the stealth pistol much earlier in the game. That's why we have it. The crossbow has one too. It makes aiming a lot easier. Alright, now we're gonna go for the final breach point, which is in this helipad slash hangar. But we don't want to go this way. We can access it through a floor vent right here. So unlike most of the rest of the area, we're actually going to ghost this hangar area because we're not going to be knocking out... We're going to destroy the breach point, but we're not going to be knocking out anyone in the area. Mostly because it's a pretty large area, it's extremely open, and there's not a lot of cover. But if you do this right, you can do it without taking anyone out. So yeah, I caused the repair bot to float in midair. But, this vent is going to get you close to the breach point, which is nice. Be careful, you don't want to get caught. So, yeah, hide yourself. This is the best spot right here. And then, be careful again, because someone came the other way. And no, you can't hide right there. So, yep. Once the coast is clear, get your lamb planted on here. And this is a tricky shot. I forgot off the top of my head how to do it. My memory said to do it from this while on this ladder so that you can immediately climb down, but you can't. You can't. Then I made the stupid decision of shooting it from right here. As you can tell, that turned out to be a fatal mistake. And unlike earlier in the game, that's an explosion death that we cannot come back from. Here's the correct way to do this, is to go all the way this way, kind of hide yourself under this little platform right here. Or no, right here. You stand right here so that you can aim between the crates and shoot. Like so. Alright. If you do this right, I don't think the soldiers will react to the explosion. But next thing's next.
Someone's there. I can hear you.
Or maybe they did react to it, they just didn't completely freak out like they would if we shot it with a rocket launcher, for example.
I've got a bogey, no ID.
Do not turn on your flashlight while in this vent. Or at least in this particular circumstance, because I think there was a soldier nearby, and he detected me as a result. So, yeah. We're gonna backtrack to the electrical room or whatnot. We need to go back to the bilge pumps so that we can reverse the flow. This'll cause the ship to like freak out, and then it'll cause the literal earthquakes that will shake the game world. Here's the mystery soldier again. Now he's in this corridor. Run up to him with Run Silent. Get on his ass and knock him out. I don't know where this guy comes from, but knock him out when you get the chance. Especially before you reverse the flow on the bilge pumps. So hack the computer, reverse the flow, and you'll know you did this right because you'll hear like an alarm siren. It's not the in-game alarm that counts as, you know, an alarm from being detected. I think it's basically like an abandoned ship / evacuate alarm. Anyways, let's quickly start working our way to the upper decks. And then, we don't know the positioning of these sailors up here, so what I recommend doing is turn yourself into a ghost, you know, with cloak and Run Silent, and then just run out the way we came in earlier, and then jump overboard into the water. Deactivate your AUGs as soon as you're in the water. Now, here's something it's not necessarily a game issue. It's more of a really annoying design choice. When you're underwater, you can't hear the evacuation alarm coming from the ship, but once you're above water, you can hear it. However, every time you submerge and then re-emerge to air, the alarm resets. So if you keep diving and going back above water, it creates this hellish chorus. And swimming with these earthquake-worthy explosions is so annoying. It flings you all over the place. But you're just gonna have to deal with it so that you can get back over here where we entered this area from earlier, and we can return to the warehouse area of the shipyard where we will get to Jock and we can finally get out of this hellhole. I really don't like this part of the game, if I'm honest with you, and the fact that ghosting it isn't really viable is only the beginning of why I don't like it. Anyways, we finally made it back here. Climb up here. Don't worry. Remember, we put the robots in standby mode earlier, so they're not going to react to us at all. It's just a matter of hiding from patrolling soldiers. Like this guy that's around the corner. Thankfully, I remembered he was there and broke line of sight. He will eventually move, so hide here at the other end of the crate and just let him walk by. Like so. So Jock is on one of the rooftops. Now this rooftop that we're about to go to, we could have used it as an infiltration point to get to the super freighter, but I used the underground route because it was easier. Plus, the underground route was the most convenient exfiltration route for coming back to this area after scuttling the ship. So once you take this elevator up here, hit the big red button to lower the crane, And then we can use the crane arm to get over to the rooftop. Like so. Jump. There's Jock. Just jump down here. And then Jock will get us out of here instantly. And the next thing we need to do is visit Dowd. And then we're going to give him the ambrosia that we found. But more on that later, because I'm going to call it here. And the next episode is where we're going to visit Dowd again. And then go to Paris. Alrighty, see you next time.